to Famous Gays and Lesbians, Alleged and Otherwise. I'm your host, Thomas Connolly, and I happen to be a gay actor living in the gayest city of them all, West Hollywood, California. Now, today we have a very special and sensitive episode. We're talking about somebody who has tragically passed away. And I know, some of you might say, why are you doing that? Why don't you just let her rest in peace? Why are you casting aspersions on her? And I honestly don't feel that that's the intention here. The whole point is to learn from her experience. Now, this person had a fascinating yet tortured life in many ways. And if we dissect and examine really what happened to her, we could all benefit from it. Now, who am I referring to? I'm referring to somebody who is one of the greatest vocalists of all time. She sold over 200 million albums. She's the only artist in the history of Billboard to have 7 #1 consecutive hits. And her single, I Will Always Love You, is the greatest selling single of all time. That's right. I'm talking about the amazing, the phenomenal, the wonderful Whitney Houston. And yes, Whitney Houston was, allegedly speaking, a lesbian. Now, we weren't able to put the final pieces together until Robin Crawford published her book in 2019, A Song for You, My Life with Whitney Houston. Okay, now the bottom line is that Robin Crawford confirms in her book that she had a lesbian relationship with Whitney. Now, it began in 1980 when Whitney was 17 and Robin was 19, and they were at a camp. They pretty much instantly became inseparable, spiritually wise, emotionally wise, and physically wise. Robin Crawford describes her first kiss as warm and long, like honey. Now, according to Robin, their sexual relationship lasted until 1982, when Whitney signed her first record deal with Clive Davis. In breaking off her sexual relationship with Robin, Whitney reportedly handed Robin a Bible and said that she was afraid of being exposed. Now, 1982 certainly didn't mean the end of Robin Crawford. Oh, no. For the next 18 years until 2000, she was front and center in Whitney's life as her personal assistant. It was rumored that you always had to go through Robin to get to Whitney. Now, it's kind of ironic that Whitney Houston was so concerned about what Clive Davis might think of her lesbianism, because Clive Davis in 2021, at the age of 88, came out as a bisexual. So you never know the demons that everyone is wrestling with. Don't let your insecurities run rampant. Now, it's my personal belief that Whitney was role-playing the life of a heterosexual woman in a feverish attempt to make everybody else in her world happy. Her mother, for example, Cissy Houston, was quite vocal about her disapproval of a lesbian gay lifestyle. And she was adamant in any interview that anybody would accuse her daughter of being gay. Cissy Houston also did not care for Robin Crawford, reportedly, and just wished she would, quote unquote, go away. And I also believe that Whitney Houston had in her head some kind of concocted image of what a mega successful pop singer should be, and it wasn't a lesbian. But I also really believe that the public would have embraced the real, authentic lesbian Whitney Houston. It's also interesting to note that Whitney never over-sexualized herself, like Miss Cleavage herself, Miss Mariah Carey, or the bold and daring Christina Aguilera, or the rather controversial Miss Britney Spears. Oh, now the other piece of confirming evidence came from her husband, Mr. Bobby Brown, of 14 years. Oh, I love the reality show. Do you remember when Whitney would hit the hooch and bellow, "Bobby!" Anyways, in Bobby Brown's 2016 book, Every Little Step, he actually said, and I really admire him for being this candid, that Whitney Houston was a bisexual. But Bobby Brown goes on to say some really revealing things. He said, "We got married for the wrong reasons." The media accused Whitney of having a lesbian relationship with Robin Crawford, her assistant. And Whitney's agenda in marrying me was to clean up her image. Wow, that was pretty revealing, but it gets even more powerful. Fasten your seatbelts. Bobby Brown goes on to say, if Whitney's relationship with Crawford was recognized, things would have ended differently. I really feel that if Robin was accepted into Whitney's life, Whitney would still be alive today. Wow, that one really blew me away. And I think we have to thank Bobby Brown for that, because a lot of men wouldn't let their egos say such a thing. And another person who chimed in on this issue was the lovely Rosie O'Donnell. She said in a recent interview that she believed Whitney Houston was a lesbian. Now, back in the day when Whitney was on her show, she witnessed a real closeness between her and Robin Crawford. But as we all know, on February 12th, 2012, Whitney Houston died by drowning herself in a bathtub at the luxurious Beverly Hilton Hotel. Now, come on, let's face it. Do you know anyone else who has drowned themselves in a bathtub? There has to be a deeper reason for all this. I believe Whitney Houston was seriously unhappy because she was masquerading as an inauthentic version of herself, who was really a lesbian woman. This led to drugs, addiction, and ultimately death. I feel Whitney's story is a cautionary tale for all of us. And the message is plain and simple. Like Shakespeare said, to thine self be true. Really, be who you are. Chances are you're not fooling anybody anyway. When you're not strong enough to stand in your truth, it always leads to disastrous and sometimes even fatal consequences, as in Whitney Houston's case. It is my personal belief that Whitney Houston spent the last 25 years of her life trying to deny, repress, and squelch her lesbianism. The point is, we can learn from Whitney Houston's life to live in our own authentic truth. Whitney, we will always love you. And on the bright side, we will always have the legacy of Whitney Houston's magnificent voice and musical library. Well, that's it for this episode. If you liked what you see, could you please like and subscribe? That would really help our show. This is Thomas Connolly for Famous Gays and Lesbians, Alleged and Otherwise. Until next time, bye-bye.